It's probably in there. I don't know. I just read
This meeting's called to order. Certification of compliance with open meetings law. Ready, check.
He may have locked it up. He's not waiting on.
Okay. Call to order.
Cobb,
Here.
Branson,
Here.
Miller,
Here. Not roll call.
oh,
Approved minutes from February 8th and February 12th, 2016 minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from February 8th and February 12th of 2016.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from February 12th and February 8th and February 12th minutes. Is there any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. The reports, treasurer's report.
the general fund has $184,304.75. Tax account, $91,213.04. LGIP general, $102,481.67. LGIP fire EMS, $2.62. Airport, $23,822.95. LGIP airport, 55 cents. The checks written for advanced disposal. Do you want me to read the dollar amount, or just who they're doing what they're for?
I guess read the dollar.
$7,712.77. The WTA, $150 for the WTA district meeting. Beth Johnson, $210 for election worker. Dawn Ingerthron, $174 for election worker. Daily Jefferson Union, County Union, $63.64 for an ad. Village of Elmira, $31.04 for an absentee ad for the last election. We Energies for streetlights, $54.75. We Energies for the town hall, $191.12. CenturyLink telephone, $115.86. Northwest Services, there were 2 checks written. One was for $38,367.50. And the second one was for $12,962.50. We received a bill at the last minute, so I went ahead and paid it. Stanford Rosenbaum, $3,079.92. There were 2 checks written on that one also. The second check was for $2,659.38. That's for the legal for annexation. Bender Levi Larson, town legal, $354.20. Rural insurance, $5,045 for the town insurance. Larry Caw, March salary, $369.40. William May, March salary, $577.19. Peggy Miller, March salary, $577.19. Winona Brassett, for 6 months salary, $1,523.77. Johnson Black, audit, first billing, $2,600 even. Jefferson County Treasurer, that is their portion of the bill payment, $5,375.52. Elmira Eagles School District, also their portion of the bill payment, $12,391.06. WCTC, their portion of the bill payment, $1,870.44.
Motion to approve the treasurer's report is written.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the treasurer's report. Any further questions or anything? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Emergency management plan?
Nothing new.
Nothing new. Fire department.
Point out a copy of our February response report. I've got another, there was 11 calls in the month of February, with 3 of them in the town. I'll give each of you a packet here. I'd like to spend our time on what our changes are that we've been working on in the system, rather than sit there and talk about calls and so on. As you know, we've been redesigning our operational plan. Our new operational plan was approved by the state a week ago, which puts us at an EMT basic level for the ambulance. I want to give an explanation on what that means and kind of how we got there and where we're going, I guess. I've got a memo there for you that explains some of that. Then in the back, there's a printout from the state on different scopes of practice and what they mean. The facilitator of the operational plan changes some of the staffing issues we have, specifically with staffing the advanced level EMTs. It's something that we're actively recruiting, but it's a difficult level of licensure to find people at. There's been a decline on a statewide basis in the number of people enrolling into the programs, mainly because the program's gone from about a 70-hour program to about 170 beyond their initial training. And we're not the only ones having that issue by any means. Prior to doing that, one of the things we did is, along with the CDMS office, we looked at our prior calls and looked at what our scope of practice that was used on the calls and what should have been done on the calls. The sample size of the calls looked at was approximately 497, so just under 500. After reviewing that, the state felt that it was appropriate to look at the EMT basic pool. Now, as far as the changes in the scope, I've got it listed out there on what specifically changes, or what's not going to be available under that scope, which we previously would have had available to us. One of them is assault airway. That's not used a lot. I don't know of other services that would carry that particular device. We have a number of other advanced airway tools that are available to us and would be preferable over that. The IV access, the medication dextrose, which is given for people with low blood sugar, because it can only be given over the IV injection. We do carry glucagon, which can also increase the person's blood sugar and can be used as a substitute for the dextrose. Nitroglycerin, that's given for people having like cardiac related chest pain. And that's a medication that's currently under review at a national level on whether or not it actually affects our outcomes of people who are having heart attacks. One of the things I've been told on that is that it may be coming off of ambulances in general in the coming years. Nitrous oxide, which is something you probably have seen as a dentist. It's used for pain control. That's not something we carry, and I don't know of any service that actually carries that in Wisconsin at that level. And then the ability to draw blood into tubes to give to the hospital, which I don't know is taking place anymore in a pre-hospital environment anymore. If you want to go on to on the scope of practice, I highlighted where these changes appear on there. And if you want to compare the two scopes, you'll see that they're very, very similar. So the amount of changes are very minimal with what will be experienced on the street level. And that explains everything up to the critical care paramedic level, what is within the scope of practices at each level in the state system. As far as the changes that we're making and continue to make, I think everybody is probably aware that we changed our medical direction and medical control. And we changed from Fort Healthcare to Aurora Summit, now our medical control facility. That doesn't change where the patient can go. They can go wherever they want, whatever hospital they want to go to. That doesn't affect that at all. we've initiated an ongoing quality assurance program through them. So calls will be reviewed, and that's used to improve the quality of the care being provided. We'll have ongoing EMS provider skill reviews that are done at regular intervals, probably quarterly is what we'll see, and those will be conducted by our medical director on site here with our providers. And we've changed the way we do our hiring. We've changed the way that we do our employee selection and have improved the comprehensive background screening and are moving away from what you commonly see in the volunteer service, the idea that, not to belittle it, but any adult non-felon might be the right person to bring on. And we're looking at it from a more comprehensive view. And that, while it makes it harder to bring on the numbers of people that you need to operate efficiently, I think it builds the organization better and creates a stronger, more stable organization in the long term. So while we've been getting applicants, our number of applicants that we've been rejecting is quite considerable. We're currently upgrading our heart monitors on both ambulances. Those are being done to replace units that are at the end of life. And I'm currently working on coverage agreements with some of the surrounding services to ensure that we have access to the advanced skills that we need in the event that the patient needs those. And then ongoing, we'll be working using our quality assurance program to identify problems in the system and work on improving those. And then using evidence-based decision-making to drive future system changes. So I guess what I'd like everybody to walk away from is that we're not just making flim-flam decisions that are, hey, this is a good idea today. These are thought-out decisions. They're based on data. They're based on evidence. They're based on studies. And they're intended to create a good level of service.
Can I ask a couple questions?
Absolutely.
Would you tell us what went into your decision to change from Fort to Aurora? You don't have to go into everything, just briefly.
I think with all the changes that we were doing, as we were reviewing what was to our advantage, the services provided by Aurora were quite considerable as far as the training for our staff, the protocols being used. About 70% of our patients are currently being transported to facilities in Waukesha County, whether that's Waukesha Memorial, Aurora Summit, or Oconomowoc Memorial. So the vast majority are going to the east rather than Fort. Fort's about 30%, and then we'll see 1 or 2 to Elkhorn, 1 or 2 to Watertown a year.
When, I think, if I got this right, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, before, if a call went in and it was something that was life-threatening, then Jefferson immediately dispatched the intercept with paramedic service. Well,
this hasn't changed that.
okay, so we're still gonna have the intercept from Fort?
We just had them here last time.
Okay, and they're willing to continue doing this? Because they never charged before. They never used to charge us.
Yep, and that hasn't changed. That's a completely separate thing yet again from these other 2 changes that we made.
Okay. Okay. All right. That was one of the questions that I had. So I guess I understand that you're thinking that this downgrade is temporary.
Yeah. What I'd like to do is once we are back at a point where we can ensure that advanced level in a 24/7 coverage is reevaluate where we're at on that and look at coming back up to the advanced level that everybody's accustomed to us operating at. Whether that's 6 months from now or a year from now or sooner or later, I don't know. I can't answer that today. We continue to recruit it. I know I have some current EMTs who want to go through the course, and we'll be sending them. No one is going to sign up this summer, but we need to be able to guarantee that 24/7 coverage. I think before we go to that, because that's part of creating that dysfunction within the system.
About some fire department questions.
Sure.
Is your new fire engine in service yet?
It's a good question. I have not signed off on it yet. It should be like imminently,
But it's not ready.
like within the next day or two.
Okay.
We've been tied up waiting on brackets and some other equipment that back ordered on it.
That didn't come, is it?
Mhm.
So, somebody pointed out to me that the department's been responding with the tender, which, and utilizing that as a pumper, which.
At times. It
Yeah.
depends on the call. It depends on what the
Okay.
call is and what the needs are and what the staffing is and so on.
Okay.
It can operate as it's a full
I
fire.
know it can, I think the concern was if you've got that tied up as a pumper, when it's really a tanker and a water supply truck and something goes on out in the country, it kind of leaves us in the lurch out here. You know, if you've got that tied up elsewhere, using it just as a pumper.
Well,
So is the intention to go
I
back?
I can guarantee you that if we're tied up on one call, the second call is gonna go to mutual aid. I can tell you that's what's gonna happen,
But
just like with any else.
where is that tanker gonna be then, is my question. So is it gonna be able to shovel
Well,
water,
it's gonna-
or what's it gonna be doing?
Well, and it's gonna depend on the call. It's gonna depend on what the call is and where.
Okay, but it wouldn't necessarily be available to get water out into the country.
No,
if you're using it somewhere else.
preferably it'll be used to shuttle water. I mean, it's a 3,800 gallon
Right,
tender and that's what it's built for, but
Sure.
it also can operate as an engine. So, for example, you go on a vehicle crash that has a fire, for instance, like what we were dispatched on Saturday. I believe that was the truck that got taken to that, which would be a great vehicle to have out in the county
right,
at an event like that.
yeah, right.
Or a fire in a ditch or something like that, where you have 3,800 gallons
Sure.
immediately available to you
Mhm.
to take care of it, rather than the engines that carry 1,000.
Sure, and that's our concern, is it gonna be
No,
available
but,
to
no,
us when
but
we
all,
need it?
once the new engine goes in service, that'll be the front line first out on the vast majority of the calls.
Okay. And you expect that in service pretty quick?
I would like to have it signed off by the end of the week. I plan on having all the training on it with the staff done next Wednesday.
Right, those were the questions that I had for tonight. So, thank you for your report.
You're welcome.
Airport,
Chris said you decided our spring concert with grandmother, so he asked me to give a report for him. They fertilized the runway today, and he was meeting with the turf specialist to look at it to recommend what to do beyond that today. That's it.
Blue Spring Lake District.
The only thing I have is we're gonna have to get the sand off the road, and I'll go into that when Rich does the highway report.
Jefferson County Sheriff, we've added the sheriff to the reports, so we could have the sheriff come in if needed, give a report.
I promised to be here.
They did promise to be here tonight because there was concern about a couple of burglaries, and apparently they do have people in custody on both of those. And the sheriff was supposed to be here tonight, but I don't see
See
him.
you.
So, Highway,
Rich?
I was ready, I didn't know I was gonna do a report on it. Show up here. But, I think the roads are in pretty good shape. I mean, there's a few spots and stuff that, need, repairs. But, for the most part, most of the roads are in relatively decent shape as far as potholes go. Any complaints on the plowing?
Not since the first snowfall.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
But I did have,
Did I mess your mailbox?
I did have a call about cleaning up the sand around Blue Spring Lake with the sweeper. I wanted to wait till the 1st of April, cause you never know what you could get.
I know Ken has said that usually the best time to go out is as soon as the, high school national or, the championship games are all done. It seems to be usually about the end of the snow.
Okay.
So I think that's next week, isn't it? Or the end of this week or something.
But anyway, Blue Spring Lake will need to be swept and Parkview Circle need to be swept.
Okay.
rest of them, rain pretty much takes care of it.
I'll let them know that. You want that done just a couple weeks from now, or?
Yeah, I'd hold off, watch the weather, if it looks like we're gonna get snow, wait, but, it hasn't shown any signs of any big snows on the long-range forecast that I've seen,
Right. Looks rain and snow and all we're looking at in the near future,
yeah.
I know accumulation.
Yeah, I just hate to have, sweep it up and then we get another snowfall and you gotta go right back out and put more sand on the road.
I know you had, is there any place you can dump the sand? That you just back here by the airport or whatever? When you go through with that truck, it gets quite a bit of sand.
I'd have to talk to Dick Roloff, cause he let us dump it up by the compost site last year in Blue Spring Lake. But I don't know if they have any room for it or use for it, I don't know. So I'll talk to Dick Roloff and I'll get back to Ken on it.
Okay, sounds good.
Correspondence.
We received notices from Jefferson County and from, they're all from Jefferson County, from zoning and sanitation. We need to have the, maintenance on the sewer system on the town, the airport, and the one by,
Langville.
I am getting prices, so that's something that has to be done. We received the decisions on the conditional use permit for the Betty and Richard Klopsek Trust, and it was approved, it was granted. And for Rebecca and Frank Smale for their additional, or attorney, their apartment, that was also granted.
Conditional use.
Conditional use. We received a letter from Jefferson County from zoning and sanitation concerning, the recycling of TVs and monitors. It seems that it is going to make an announcement that at the end of June this year, we will no longer be able to drop off at the county. It's not cost effective, matter of fact, it's costing the county quite a bit of money. The Humane Society, we got a report from them that there were no pickups. And that was it.
New business. Discussion and action to amend the zoning for parcel 02405161534 for John and Renee Allen property, address West 1210 State Road 106, Palmyra, Wisconsin, from A1 to, is that
Yeah, natural.
natural resource?
I'm gonna make a motion that we
Yeah.
approve that. Do they want
You wanna
to
speak?
talk?
Sure, I guess, maybe more of the reasons why or whatever, but, I guess it all started when we began the discussions on the property across the street and, looking at selling that to the town, and said we probably need to get our affairs in order, and as I've been reminded, I'm not getting any younger, so. So really what you're looking at is 3 different A1 parcels, that there's portions of that we're asking to combine into a natural resource zone.
Thank you.
So I approve it, I have some problem with it.
I'll second that.
It's moved and seconded to approve the change from A1 to natural resource on the parcels that were aforementioned. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Discussion and action to approve the following dates for Blue Spring Lake Ski Club for 2016. May 29th, July 3rd, and September 4th at 6 p.m. Monday nights from 5 to 7 p.m. between Memorial Day and Labor Day for practices on the eastern end of the lake.
Okay, the first thing, those dates, May 29th, July 3rd, and September 4th are the ski shows. And they asked for extended fast boating hours for those. And there are no rain out dates. If they get rain, they're just canceled. And then the Monday nights from 5 p.m. to 7 between Memorial Day and Labor Day for practices. And it was recommended by the Blue Spring Lake Management Board to accept these hours also. And I'd like to make a motion to approve these dates and hours.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the ski show hours and practice hours for Blue Spring Lake. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and action regarding the Velocause Bike Race 2016, scheduled for May 28th, 2016.
That's Christian.
Christian's sitting right there.
Last year, we had the first road bike race, May 23rd. It went off, as far as I know, without a hitch. I'm here to, if there's any concerns or if there were anything that I didn't know about.
I had one concern. Someone had said that there were bikes riding across the center line on certain instances.
Which roads?
I think it was on Tamarack.
Yeah, on Tamarack, we actually had a couple illegally parked vehicles at one point. We actually documented those in pictures. We could provide those.
Okay.
We had one motorcycle parked inside instead of being off, and we had another, a commercial vehicle actually, unloading a Bobcat and sustained, and they were there for a while, and we actually had to go across to.
I received one complaint as
Yeah,
well.
and we did document as much as possible because we're concerned about any concerns, of course. There was that case. We actually have moved to have more motorcycle police, not police, but referees. And so if there's any cases of crossing the yellow line, a lot of those roads out there, they have no markings. And I was not happy with that last year. So we actually have 2 motorcycle refs that will be pulling people immediately. Once we start pulling those people, that will curb it.
Okay.
That was a concern of ours as well, especially on small unmarked roads. We would like to have permission, one of my guys in my club, he works for Edgerton Commercial, they do all the bridges and everything. They're doing the Milwaukee interchange right now. We would like to ask permission to actually put a stop sign, a temporary stop sign between the hours of the race between 8 and 4:30 at Z and Young. People coming off of 67, they come around that corner, and they're coming at quite a clip. We actually had somebody there, a guard, to slow them down, but we would like to actually put a temporary stop sign in there for safety reasons. We think that would help. If it's not possible, it's fine.
That's a county road, so you're gonna have
Okay.
to deal with the county on that.
Okay, we can ask them then for permission.
Yeah.
Okay. That was really the only interchange we had. At every other intersection, it's clear. It was easy. The cyclist can go full, through any corner without any problems. We didn't have any issues with the horse trails.
Every report I heard was that they were very pleased with the way you guys worked with them and they appreciated it, so.
We handed out
That problem got solved.
we had 300 door hangers that we went around. Anybody close to the course that we posted on the houses. I didn't receive any calls, and my cell phone was on those 300 hangers. So it was kind of like, okay, and we'll do that again this year. And if there's any concerns, we actually had one visitor to the cemetery, and we didn't have parking for her. So this year we're gonna have 2 or 3 spots marked off so we can be more accommodating in that regards.
I'll make a motion to approve them having a race on May 28th.
Second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Velocause Bike Race scheduled for May 28th. Any other discussion?
Well, I think it went well last year. I'm pleased that you made such an effort to do it right. It's really refreshing.
And we'll do a follow-up after the race to make sure everything was handled correctly,
Okay.
and we'll move accordingly.
All in favor?
Aye.
wants a map of the races. Okay. Discussion and action regarding best dam bike tour, August sixth and seventh.
Yeah.
Okay, this one I have a concern with. Because in their letter, they say cyclists will be instructed to obey all traffic laws. And they still don't stop at stop signs, and I asked one of their people that were out on 59 last year, and they were just waving people in, trying to stop cars on 59. And he didn't wanna talk to me, and I wish the sheriff was here so we could bring it up in front of them, because it seems like that gets worse every year. And we're not gonna stop it, we can't stop it, it's too big of a race. All we can do is monitor it and let the sheriff know our concerns, but, I just think they're supposed to follow the laws that we are.
I certainly agree with that. I didn't see anything last year, but I certainly have in the past where they have somebody standing out in the middle of the highway, stopping cars so the bikes can continue to run out onto the road. And they don't stop at the stop signs. I'm gonna suggest that we not sign this and that we contact Caitlin, whatever her name is, Furmanic, and tell her of our concerns, or else we write a little letter and put it on.
I'd suggest they call the county so you can get a sheriff to post there if they wanna have someone stop traffic or something, but not just
Yeah.
not obey the sign.
What do you think, Al?
I haven't seen the agreement.
Oh.
I'm assuming.
We're supposed to not hesitate to contact her, so.
We're respectfully requesting the use of local and state roads, and they ask if there are additional steps or permits needed to approve the request. Certainly the implication there is that we could impose restrictions on them. I think I better know exactly what those restrictions are that we're concerned about.
Because looking at the route they have on here, there's only 2 stop signs they'd have to stop at going through the town of Palmyra. And they're both on, one's on Hooper and Zion, and the other's on Zion and 59.
That one on Zion at 59 is bad. And they just roll right out onto the road there. Oh, let's,
This is on August first, we can,
So we've got time.
yeah,
we can put it on, we can deal with it next month.
Table
Someone
until
wants
next
to-
month.
okay.
Did you wanna contact,
If you want me to, I'll contact you, sure.
where I could, because I'm the road.
You're the road guy?
Yeah, I'll call her.
They're your stop signs.
Do my stuff.
We have another still. Where's the foot lines? Oh, my.
They're not,
Going on camera, man.
okay, they go on Young Road. That's the only place they're on for ours, so the only stop sign they would have there is on H.
This is on.
H and
That's on
Tamarack.
this next, that's on the next one.
I would think maybe I'll call them all, is there a number on here to call them then? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll call them also.
That's August 1.
So I make a motion to table this till next month.
Okay, the best
Both of
damn
them?
one? or-
Both, the next
Both of
two.
them?
Both of them.
Okay, okay,
Second.
okay, it's been moved and seconded to table action on the best damn bike tour and the Tour de Fort bike ride. Best damn bike tour is scheduled for August sixth and seventh. The Tour de Fort bike ride is August 21st. In favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and possible action on annual audit of general fund, including whether to incur additional costs to provide government-wide financial statements as previously requested by Jim Rowland in an email dated 10/28/15. Beyond the required general fund financial statements, and that the footnote regarding the capital assets be removed from the audit.
You know, I contacted the Towns Association about that way back when, and they said, this is crazy, why would you wanna take on this expense, because you won't tax these parcels anyway. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna have to go out and hire somebody to appraise all the town's capital assets, that's culverts, that's road beds, that's, you name it. The only one that I think we have a value on that makes sense is the lots in the cemetery, we sell those, so I don't think they need to be part of the capital assets either. And Jan Freilich has advised us that towns don't do it for that very reason, same thing the Towns Association said. I don't see any reason why we should encumber the taxpayers with thousands of dollars to list the capital assets of everything in this town when none of it is for sale, nor can it be sold. So that's just my opinion.
I have a letter from Jan Freilich, and they estimate to adopt GASB 34 in order to gather asset records, which may be impossible, and get road data from engineers, $3,000 to $6,000, and it would add $1,500 to $3,000 additional to the annual audit fee.
That's just an estimate too.
That's her estimate.
If you had to hire an engineer, I don't think you're gonna get away with $6,000.
All the town culverts included in the town capital assets, they were going to be appraised.
I think it's unnecessary, and I'm gonna make a motion that we do not list the capital assets in the annual audit.
Can I say something? According to Jan, the capital assets listed on the audit are only airport. That's it. It is a number, it's a figure that Don Egan gave to Jan.
In
And that's
2007.
In 2007. That is the number that's on the audit.
Doesn't even need to be on there, does it?
No.
Isn't that what she said?
No, she said all it was informational, and she said they don't audit it, so they don't
Right.
have anything to do with it.
Right.
It was just information that Don gave her.
So it's my motion would be that we do not list capital assets on the audit.
I'll second it.
I would like to,
Discussion?
I would also like to add to it that we remove the footnote in the audit on the airport.
I'll take that, add that to the motion.
Do you want to amend your motion?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a motion to say that we do not list the capital assets and we remove the footnote listing the value of the airport. On the annual audit. Very good.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to not list capital assets in the audit and to remove the footnote listing the value of the airport. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
I have a question on that.
No?
I'm on the agenda. You listed me on the agenda.
Counselor?
He's welcome to contribute with public comment.
So I wanted to do the question before you took the vote.
Discussion before.
You can ask a question.
Okay, general accounting practice recommends,
Is he out of order?
Yeah, it is out of order.
You're out of order.
okay,
You can speak in public comment, I'll allow you to sign up here, you know, if you want.
no, you've already taken your action.
Did you vote on that?
Yes.
Public comment, Irene Blaskowski.
I would like to see on next month's agenda, the item that I had emailed to you, Larry, regarding the maintenance and or repair or even replacement of the town posting boards. They're getting kind of shabby. And I would also like to throw out that I would be willing to volunteer some free time if the town would go ahead and want to do any maintenance or repair on them, like I could do some staining or whatever, so I'm available if that's what you so choose, but I'd like to see that go on the agenda for next month.
Thank you. Ed Dion?
I just want everybody to know, since sheriff isn't here, I've seen some suspicious vehicles driving up and down Island Road, and just keep an eye open. I've seen a black truck and a beige tannish truck. They look like Chevys older. They're driving up the road. They're looking like they're casing the area, looking in everybody's yards.
What is it, a black, what is
A
it?
black pickup
Black pickup?
and a beige or a tan pickup. They look like Chevys older models. And they're driving up and down Island Road and looking in everybody's yards. Just so everybody is aware of it. I also had somebody walking through the campground, in the back of the campground, and he beat-feeded it for the woods. So I don't know what's going on, if there's another burglar running around or what. Just so everybody's aware, lock your place up.
Okay. Thank you. Donna Shanta?
I noticed that you had posted the meeting minutes from the Lower Spring Lake District meeting, wasn't that?
No, they posted it.
Oh, they did. Well, I thought it was a great idea, because otherwise we don't get to see that. So I was going to request that also you post the minutes of the board meetings on the posting boards, as well as the committee meetings or commission meetings, so we can get a little bit more information that way. Then I have a question of, is the airport commission going to meet in March for the quarterly? Are they going to have a quarterly meeting?
In April,
It's in April. Do you know the date?
I believe it's the 5th.
April 5th. And what about the highway committee?
We haven't set a date yet.
Okay, and what about the safety services committee?
We have a meeting scheduled, that will be scheduled for Wednesday night, and it will be closed.
Okay. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
It's been moved, adjourned, and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.